help someone.
Okay.
So one of my Tai Chi students, she was talking about how she was not too long ago in an airport. And so, of course, there's a lot of walking that goes on in an airport. And if you've ever been to the Atlanta airport, your gate may be forever away. So, but she was talking about how strong her legs have gotten since she has started with Tai Chi. And that she was able to hold out and walk like she used to not be able to before Tai Chi. So I just love hearing stories like that. So anytime that y'all can share a story where Tai Chi has helped you function better, I just love to hear that, because that can be encouraging to others, because it doesn't happen overnight. You know, you don't just take one Tai Chi class and suddenly you're stronger and more balanced. It takes time, and we're not always patient with ourselves. And so hearing other people's success can be encouraging to us. So let's get started first by walking around in your space, open and closing your hands, just getting our bodies warmed up and ready for some movement. We don't want to start off exercise with cold muscles, because it increases our chance of injury. So a little walking around, open and closing our hands, that'll properly prepare us for Tai Chi class. I've read where, let's see, Miss Sylvia. Yes, Miss Sylvia, you have a question?
I have got all mixed up. I have got the participants on my screen.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, how do I get back to you? Just
touch my picture. What happens if you touch my picture?
Well, I don't know. If I take yours, I don't know how to do that.
Put your finger. Put your finger on my face.
I don't see your face.
You don't see my face?
No. I don't know.
Hey, Miss Sharita. Do y'all have any advice to share her, Miss Arlene? Do you know how she can get me back?
I don't know. Let me see. Do close up at the top left.
Tell her to hit it.
Close at the top left.
Okay. Hold on. I see that. It went back to the screen that's got the 5 participants. And my hand's raised up, and Jennifer is got me stopped. I got her stopped. So what do I do now? Just hit that close again?
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. I got you.
I'm back. Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Oh, technology will challenge us, won't it? All right, y'all. So let's thinking about how we hold our bodies in a way that's supportive. So we widen our stance a little bit to be about shoulder width apart or hip width apart. We think about our posture. Do I need to put on a black shirt? Can y'all see me okay?
I can see you great.
Okay. Well, I brought a black shirt just in case. When I back up, I seem to disappear a little bit more. All right. So we think also about our posture. So we have like a string that pulls up to the ceiling and down towards the ground. Our shoulders are relaxed. It's like we're carrying books on our head, that kind of posture. We're also going to think about breathing, using that good diaphragmatic breathing, checking in with ourselves just to make sure we continue that breath. So let's start with our neck. We bring our hands up towards our chin and chest. pushing away from us and following those hands down. I've been thinking a lot about gentle resistance lately. So as I move, I'm pretending that air is especially heavy, and I'm having to use a little extra muscle to pull myself through that heavy air. And that helps engage muscle. It helps create that tension that's just part of our principles in Tai Chi. And you may not want to focus on that, and that's okay. Let's start our other neck exercise. Following that hand as we look towards that shoulder, coming back to the front, switch hands, go to the other. Continuing to breathe. So we're only moving our neck here. Our torso isn't moving because this is a stretch for our neck. You may be able to see this. If not, I'll explain it. Whenever I go to the side, I'm pulling this shoulder back as well as going towards that one. So give that a try. And if you pull that other shoulder back a little bit, it really stretches more muscles there. You might not be comfortable doing that. And if that is not comfortable for you, that's okay. Just following that hand side to side, not going as far as you can, but just going till you feel a slight stretch. That's enough. But sometimes I try to give you ideas on how to make it just a little bit more. So for our shoulders, we roll those shoulders forward. My hands are on the sides of my legs, and I'm just drawing little circles. And now I'm going to draw them back. To me, that feels like a little massage you give yourself. Rolling those circles, or rolling those shoulders in circles. All right, big shoulder circles. Our hands come up, and then we push our hands down in front of us. Another great time to practice that gentle resistance, coming up and pushing down. We're breathing, making sure we keep that good upright posture. Now let's grab our little ball. Our hands are facing each other. We're going to separate the heavens and the earth as it goes. So the hand on top comes down and pushes towards the ground, keeping that soft bend in our elbow. And the other hand comes up and pushes towards the ceiling. So we're pushing up and down at the same time, stretching that spine vertically. Come back to your ball and switch. The guy I go to for acupuncture and cupping says that we cannot stretch our bodies enough. And when we don't stretch at all, our muscles get so tight and they start creating all kinds of problems for us. I've been studying this book about muscles and how all of our muscles are connected, and what we may have the hip flexor muscles. You know, I talk about those in class. There are several parts to it. You may have knee problems because your hip flexors are not stretched. You may have lower back problems because your hip flexors aren't stretched, because you have muscles that connect all these parts. So same goes for other parts. We want to keep them nice and flexible so that we can move and not have that tension. You know, have you ever like messed with a rubber band And when you very first, I actually have a rubber band. I don't know why there's one in my pen bag. But when you first stretch the rubber band, this is a lot like a tendon or even a muscle in your body. When you first stretch this rubber band, it's kind of stiff, it's kind of hard to move. But the more I sit here and do that, that rubber gets warmed up and I'll be able to really stretch that rubber band. Whereas if I've in the beginning stretched it really far, it might have broke that rubber band. And that's the same with how our muscles work. The more we keep them stretched and warmed up, the easier and better that they'll move. So that hopefully that's a good explanation for you and why it's important to keep our bodies nice and mobile, or warmed up and flexible so that they are mobile. Back to our spine. So we have our ball. We're going to take it side to side, staying just above that knee, switching our hands, and come across to that other side. Continuing to breathe. We don't go as far as we can because we could hurt our back and sometimes even our knee if we go too far. Nice, smooth movement side to side. Back to the middle. Now let's talk about our hips. We're going to shift our weight to one leg. Take one heel out, hands back. Let's pause in the middle. And then that toe goes back like a kickstand. Hands are forward. Pause in the middle. Heel forward, hands back. Pause and toe back, hands forward. Let's do one more. That one stabilizer leg, it's starting to kind of yell at me. Back to center. Now let's shift our weight and move this leg. Heel forward, hands back. Pause. Toe back, hands forward. Back to center. Heel forward, hands back. Can't tell you enough how important that kickstand, that kind of out back to the side is for the sake of balance. Because if you were to go straight back, it would be no different than putting your feet real close to each other. And so that really messes with your balance. So that toe back, kind of at an angle, will be most stable. Next, for our knees, we have our loose fist. We're going to shift, lift, tap that toe out, and punch. Bring it back. As you get better and better with your balance, you can challenge yourself by tapping in the air a little higher. And if you're not ready for that, that's okay. Just tap closer to the floor. Main thing is we're shifting weight here and then giving that one leg a chance to hold us, helping us get stronger muscles so that we have better balance. We shift, lift, tap and punch the opposite hand, bring it back, shift, lift, tap and punch. Come back. Now let's shift the weight, step, heel, toe, shift as we punch, bring it back, keeping those feet flat on the floor, shift, step, heel, toe. We're not shifting all the weight to that front foot, keeping some weight on the back, keeping our bodies upright. It'd be easy to lean forward with this movement, but be conscious of your posture. As soon as you start leaning, that's taking you towards falling. Continue to breathe. Come back to center. Now let's do our ankles. Shift the weight to one leg and heel, toe, rocking that foot. Switch feet, or legs. I guess they're both connected. We can switch feet and switch the legs at the same time. Working on flexibility of that ankle joint helps with our mobility. Bring that foot back, shift the weight. Now big toe, little toe, side to side. Come back, shift, little toe, big toe. Give yourself a little shake and we will be ready to go for our basic 6. Let's do it a couple times and then we're going to move to our advanced, working more with those movements. Any questions? Oh, Miss Arlene, you leaving us?
Yeah, I am. All right. Enjoyed it.
Okay, see you next week.
Okay.
Have a good day.
You too.
All right, y'all. So here we go. We're going to go from the top. I'm going to do mirror image. And if y'all request for me to turn around, I will. If not, I'll just stay forward with mirror image. Y'all just let me know what you need to be the, so that you learn the best. All right. Get yourself in that good, stable stance. Good posture. Getting in that pattern of deep breathing. Let's do it. And commence. Bring those hands up, down, shift right. Step left, bring those hands in and up. Shift if those hands go forward. Bring them back, open and close. Single whip. Shift left, step right. Push, turn, separate. Following that left hand. Shift left, bring those hands, bring that hand down, right foot back, waving hands in clouds. Step right, change hands. What am I doing here? I'm going to step right, turn, shift, step, switch, 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 turn to the middle for open and close. Now let's go to the left. Shift right, step left, push, turn, separate, following that right hand. Shift right, bring that left foot back, hand down, waving hands in clouds. Step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn. Last time. Shift, step, switch, turn to the middle for open and close. Any questions about those basic 6? All right, I'm going to do it this time, but I'm not going to do all the talking that I did. I'll call out the names of the movement. Just follow me and commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open and close. Close it out. Now this time, I'm going to not talk at all. This gives you an opportunity to kind of test yourself, but to also experience that internal principle of singing, the mental quietness. Here we go, and begin. How was that? All right, so one way you can practice Tai Chi and get better with your journey in Tai Chi is you do these same movements, but you focus on the different principles. So you may do this movement and really focus on your movement control. Make sure that those moves are slow, smooth, and continuous as you go through those movements, because that's a challenge. We're kind of used to being in a hurry, and it's hard for us to slow down. So when you do that movement, think about slow, smooth, continuous. Commence, slow, smooth, continuous. Or you can think about what I talked about earlier about gentle resistance. So when I do that commence move and I'm thinking about gentle resistance, I'm thinking how heavy this air is. And it's a little difficult to push my hands through and move. I had to stop and think mirror image. Pull and see that just that pull move. If I'm pretending that gentle resistance, I'm creating tension that's not there. But because of that, I'm using muscles that I wouldn't normally have to use to just lift my hands up and down. Or I could think about my body structure as I do those. And I'm not telling you to focus on all of them at the same time. Our brains don't work like that. Our brain is kind of a one-track mind. So if you tell it, hey, we're going to just focus on the slow, smooth, continuous, it's not really good at also thinking about gentle resistance and also thinking about your posture and also thinking about breathing. Your brain doesn't function well multitasking. So give it one thing and practice with that one thing in mind. So it may be posture. It may be, okay, you know what? I was noticing that I leaned a little bit as I moved or did certain movements. Maybe I felt myself leaning, which is amazing because that means you have body awareness. That's a big time lesson in Tai Chi. So this time I'm just going to make sure that I'm standing upright, that my shoulders stay relaxed, and I have that good posture, like that book is on my head and it's not going to fall. So as I go through these movements, I'm thinking about my posture. Or weight transfer. You can really focus on fully transferring that weight, stepping, empty step, because when we put a foot out there, we do not immediately give it weight. Put that foot there, then do the weight transfer. So see, lots of ways to practice 6 movements, and we get better in different ways. And if you practice them one at a time, before you know it, you'll be doing it slow, smooth, and continuous. You'll be doing it with gentle resistance. You'll be doing it with an upright posture, all at the same time, because you practiced it all individually. So that's my challenge for you, is to always keep principles in mind so that when you practice, your body gets that memory. So whatever you want to choose that, and we're going to do these movements again, whatever you choose. If you simply want to practice what move is next, because that's number 1 lesson in Tai Chi, is just learning the moves. It's hard to practice principle until you learn the moves. So here we go. Think about what you want to choose. I'm going to choose weight transfer. I'm going to really focus on weight transfer, doing an empty step, then transferring the weight. Here we go, and begin. How was that? Did you have something that you focused on?
Yeah.
What did you choose, Miss Sharita?
The weight transfer.
Oh, that was a good one. I caught myself in the middle of it, really noticing the space in my armpit. Now,
Okay.
sometimes your brain will do that. It'll kind of switch from thought to thought. And you know how I talked to y'all about the soft bend in your elbow and the soft bend in your knee, right? And that's called a song joint, S-O-N-G, or an open joint. If you were to lock your joints, then energy couldn't flow as easily. Well, I mainly talk about elbows and knees because as we extend our arms, we want to keep that soft bend. But we don't talk about this armpit as much. And that's a joint right there. And whenever we move, we want to make sure that our armpits can breathe. So we bring our hands up, and there's that space in our armpit. When we keep it there as we go through our moves here, versus I'm going to close my armpit a little bit. See, I'm a little closer to my body. Even in the open and close, my armpit stayed closed, versus it's just that little bit of difference that allows that good energy to flow through our bodies as we go through the Tai Chi movements. A million different ways. I don't know if a million is exaggeration. I don't think, but there is a lot practice 6 moves, and so we can never really get bored with our Tai Chi because we go through the journey differently each time we do it and think about different things. But still, there's more to learn. Even with those 6 moves, we have our advanced 6, and we've talked about brush knee. Brush knee, we do to the left and then to the right. And it's kind of opposite of our basic 6, where we go to the right, to the left. So our advanced 6 starts with brush knee. And basically, we're going from facing the front to facing to the left. And we have to do that by transferring weight. So we shift the weight to our left foot. We turn our right toe in. To me, that's like an arrow foot, and it's preparing to be our back foot. So when we step with our left leg towards that left side, then this perfectly became our back leg. And so that's why we turn that foot in. It's preparing to turn us. I think it's like an arrow. So we shift left, right toe in, shift right. We can bring that left foot back and then step out to that side, shift left, and follow step right. So you, on that follow step right, that last move, notice how very little that foot moved. Okay, I shift left, right toe in, shift right, prepare, step, shift, and follow step. See that? I went from here to here. Almost picked my foot up and put it down in the exact same spot. So in our Tai Chi, we're not making these big, huge steps. Sometimes it's picking a foot back up and putting it right back down. That's that follow step. As we go through our advanced movements, there is a step, shift, and follow step. Every move has a step, shift, follow step. That follow step is the end of every move. I think of it as a period. And that follow step movement gets no weight. If you need it to have weight for safety, then give it weight. Just know you have to take the weight off in order to move that foot. I mean, that's just common sense. All my weight's on this foot. I cannot move this foot until I get the weight off of it. I have to give the foot or the weight to this foot. Now I can move this one. That sounds very simple and basic, but I know sometimes when we're in the middle of our Tai Chi moves, we forget basic because we're all mixed up with these moves that are unfamiliar. So brush knee, I'm just talking about our feet. We shift left, right toe in, shift right, prepare and step, shift and follow step. So that follow step foot gets no weight. All the weight's on my left foot. It may be hard to tell with the camera angle, but the toe and my heel are kind of in a line. If I were to move this leg behind the other, it wouldn't touch. It'd be behind it. Maybe that makes sense. But it's not beside, and it's not this close. There's space there. Okay, so that's the footwork. Shift, right toe in, shift right, prepare the left, 2 step, shift left, and follow step right. So when I stepped that left foot, that's called an empty step. An empty step is when you give it no weight. Shift, right toe in, shift, prepare and step. So I just stepped that foot, but there's no weight there. All my weight is on my right foot or right leg. Now I shift and follow step. All my weight is on my left foot. The follow step foot is always the next step. That's why it conveniently has no weight on it. We set it up to step next by not giving it weight. So that next step will be back. And that's for the move, play the lute. So let's transition from that move to play the lute. Not worrying about our hands right now. We're just thinking about how our legs move in our advanced 6 movements. So we shift left, right toe in, shift right, prepare the left, and step. Now shift left, follow step right. Here we go for play the lute. We step back right, shift right, and follow step left. So see again, the heel and the toe are lined like that. I'm not here, I'm not real close. I shift and follow step. Remember, follow step foot gets no weight. So all the weight is on my left foot. Let's do those 2 again. Brush knee, shift, shift left, right toe in, shift right, prepare the left, then step, shift left, follow step right. Play the lute. Step back right, shift, and follow step left. How's that feel? So in waving hands and clouds, we shift weight sideways. We step,
Yes.
we shift, we step, we shift, we step. So we're going to the side. And that works our muscle in one way. In our advanced movement, we're going forward and back, shift. We're going to go forward, forward, forward. Now we're going to go back again and forward again. So advanced movements go forward and back. Now the most back stepping we do is a step back, shift, follow step. So we're not taking multiple steps backwards. One step back, shift, follow step. Now, if you don't have really good balance, this may terrify you to really start going places forward and backwards. So how can you prepare yourself to get here and be more comfortable? Well, you can have a chair. Hold on to a chair, stagger your stance where one foot is forward and the other steps back. Shift the weight, keeping that upright posture. Shift the weight to the front foot, shift the weight to the back foot. So your feet are never leaving the ground. You're just shifting weight forward and back, holding that chair. Come back to center and switch. Put the other leg forward, other leg back. Have that nice staggered stance. Shift forward, shift back. It's a lot like that knee warm-up stretch that we do at the beginning, where we punch and back, keeping those feet on the floor. That helps get your muscles stronger. If you're not ready to do that, you can sit down and simply push your feet into the floor like a pumping action. Push, release, push, release, push, release, push. So one leg at the time, push those feet into the floor and you really start engaging muscle. The only way to get those muscles stronger and more able is by using them. So wherever your comfort is with moving forward and back, do that. But all the moves in our advanced 6 are forward and back. We go from facing forward. First, we go to the left and we do a little forward and back action. Several different moves, forward and back. And then we come back to the front here. And then we go to the right and we forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. And then we come back to the front. We open and close. And we're done with our advanced 6. Let me show you what they all look like. And we're going to work on learning them. Here is brush knee. Play the loop. Parry punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. To the front. Open and close. Brush knee. Play the loop. Parry punch. Block and close. Push the tiger. To the front. Open and close. So hopefully you saw, and hopefully I was a good demonstrator of how very little our feet move through that movement. Small steps as we go forward and back. Our feet never get real far from each other as we go through those movements, but enough to keep us in that stable stance. Okay, so brush knee, let's talk about our hands. We're coming from open and close. We know we're going to shift left and turn that right toe in. When we turn that right toe in, we take our right hand, coming up close so you can see. I extend it out in front of me. So it goes from here to here. My left hand is going to protect that elbow. So it comes down and protects that elbow. So you go from here. I've always called that lay hands because it seems like your hands are laying over. It's almost like dominoes. Here. So you don't have to complicate that move. It's here to here. And that hand move happens when you turn that right toe in. So it's shift left, right toe in, lay hands. So just feel that. Shift. Boom. Just like that. Now we're going to shift right. When we bring that left foot back, we separate those hands. So this right hand stays facing to the front. My left hand just comes down here by my hip. So I go from here, shift, toe in, lay hands. Shift right, separate, prepare, step left. I'm going to shift the weight to my left, as we know, and my right hand is going to go from facing forward. It's going to come around, and I'm going to push that hand as I shift the weight on my left foot. Push and follow step. The whole time keeping my upright posture. Brush knee. Shift left. Right toe in, lay hands. Shift right. Separate, prepare. Step left. Shift as I push. and follow step right. How's that? Good? You
Yeah.
feel good about it?
Good.
Okay. This is, to me, this is the most complicated move of this series of movements. And I think it's going from one direction facing the other direction.
Yeah.
All right. So we have brush knee, shift left, right toe in, lay hands, shift right, separate, prepare, step left, shift as I push, and follow step. That's our brush knee. Why is it called brush knee? Well, this, remember, Tai Chi has a history in martial arts. And so this is kind of a fight sequence. I'm going to do it from the front as I turn. So I'm going to start this brush knee, shift, right toe in, lay hands, shift. Okay, now somebody's getting ready to kick me and they're coming at my knee. Okay, so I take this hand and push them away, and then I give them a little taste of my hand. Does that make sense? So they were coming at my knee. Okay. Boom, get off my knee and get some of this. Boom. So it's the slowest fight you're never going to have. But that's where the basis of this movement is in a martial art. And that's why it's called brush knee, because I'm brushing someone off from trying to kick my knee. Brush knee. Shift. Right toe in, lay hands. Shift right. Separate, prepare. Step. Shift as I push and follow step. So we've already learned the footwork of play the lute, which is step back right, shift, follow step left. All right, that seems simple enough. What's happening with our hands? Well, from the front, we've just finished brush knee. So when I step back, my hands are going to turn. So my palms are going to face in. And those palms are getting ready to pass each other. So here at the end of brush knee, I step back, I turn my hands. As I shift to that right foot, my hands pass each other. When I get to my elbow, that's when I follow step left. So it looks like this from the side. So I just brush knee, follow step, play the lute, step back, turn hands, shift as those hands pass. When I get to that elbow, I follow step. And that is play the lute. I like to think of it kind of like a harp. Like this right here are all the wonderful strings of my harp. This hand is playing those strings. That may be helpful to you, it may not. Turn hands, play the lute, follow step. In fighting terms, what I'm doing is, remember, I just gave them a taste of my fist or a taste of my palm. Boom. There. Now they've made me mad because they tried to kick me. I'm going to grab them and I'm going to, boom, stab them in the eye with my fingers. So that's the basis of the movement with the martial art. So we have the fight of here, you're not going to kick my knee, have some of this, boom, grab, and that's play the lute. It's much nicer to think about it as a harp, isn't it?
Yes.
Doing these movements and it starts feeling kind of like a little dance. That's what it feels like to me. And I think that's because of the fight. Like it's a little dance here and boom, boom, and get them again. And oh, they're coming at you. Oh, I'm coming at you. So that like a dance, but there's a little fight factor in there too. All right, so we'll learn more next week. It is 10:57. Do y'all have any questions about brush knee and play the lute before I set you free to practice this week? Remember, you always have this video to come back to. There are more tutorials on the YouTube page specific to brush knee and all the advanced 6, but you do have this and you always have access to me by sending me a message. I haven't been real good about carrying my tablet around. I'm in this weird stage of my life where my son is going to graduate high school, and I know I've told y'all this a billion umpteen zillion times, but it's getting so close now that it's kind of freaking my freak a little bit. And I'm just doing the best I can.
Is he immediately going off when he graduates?
He'll go in August, I think.
Okay.
I don't think he'll have to go any sooner than August because he's going to school to play baseball. So sometimes baseball players have to go in the summer, but we haven't heard yet. So we're just assuming August.
Okay.
So I'm honestly just trying to get through May. So anywho, let's give ourselves a little fist massage and tell our legs thank you so much for working so hard for us, because man, they do, especially in Tai Chi, as we focus on our bodies, and our weight transfer and our posture and just general mobility. Our legs just work hard. Now let's create tension and understand that tension causes pain and we don't want pain. So we let tension go anytime we recognize tension and relax. Now these next 2 baseball games I go to, I'm going to have tension and I'm going to recognize it. And I don't know how to let it go, but I'm going to practice it best I can. But I want to win, y'all. I want to win so bad.
Yes. And
I do my part, but it doesn't seem to matter. Oh, goodness. Breathe, because we know it's all going to be okay, win or lose, right?
Right.
Circle breath. Inhale up and exhale as we push down. One more. And exhale. And then we have our right, switch for mirror image. Our right fist, that represents our strength. Our fingers together, our friendship. And Lord, I'm so grateful for our friendship. Just having people that love us and we look forward to being with each other. I mean, does that not make life worth everything? Is to just have people. Friendship is just a big part of it. Humility, strength, friendship, and humility. So we put those together, and in mutual respect, we say namaste.
Namaste.
So thank y'all. I hope y'all have a wonderful week, and I'll see y'all next Tuesday.
Okay.
And you're a winner.
You take care.
You're a winner.
Yo, thank you, Miss Sharita. I love y'all.
All right. Love you more.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.